Today, in spirit of Halloween, I want to go over some of the best proof we have that ghosts exist. While I was preparing to make this video, I remembered something that has just always stuck with me. It's about a reward that was offered to anyone who could actually prove that ghost, or just the paranormal in general, does in fact exist. But I forgot how much the reward was, as well as the years this reward was offered. So I looked it up on Google, and the #1 result was this Wikipedia page. And to my surprise, there has been throughout the years a ton of prizes offered to anyone who could prove the paranormal. And still to this day, no one has ever won any one of these prizes. One of the first rewards was offered in 1922 to any medium who could capture a picture of a ghost by manifesting a spirit. And at the time, this was a pretty big deal. Even Harry Houdini himself was one of the investigators. The reward was $2,500, which at the time was a heck of a lot of money. But no medium was able to earn this reward. Most who tried were later proven to be frauds. Now the reward I was thinking of was called the $1 million Paranormal Challenge that started back in 1964. And this competition lasted all the way until 2015. Now there have been many people, many governments from all over the world that have offered rewards for proof of the paranormal. But like I said, none of these rewards have ever been claimed. Now the reason I bring this up is there is a ton of possible evidence of ghosts, tons. But they're not just going to show up when you want them to. But since there's also a ton of hoaxes, especially today with all our modern technology, it makes most people believe that the genuine footage is probably a hoax too. One of my favorite stand-up comedians, Ricky Gervais, although I don't agree with everything he says, said in his last special that no ghost hunters have ever seen a ghost, which is far from the truth. Well, at least according to hundreds, if not maybe thousands of real ghost hunters throughout the world. I'm sure that the ghost adventures, which we know is mostly fake, although highly entertaining for some, have probably had some real encounters from time to time, as they do go to some very evil and just haunted places. And I think it'd be awesome if one day they came clean and let us know if they had any sightings or events that were actually genuine. Now the reason I don't agree with skeptics, or people like Ricky Gervais, is because I've had a few paranormal encounters in my life that I just can't explain. And those encounters are the reason for this channel. In a previous video, I talked about a sighting that happened to me and my brother. And for those that haven't seen that video, I'll go over just the basics real fast, then get on with the video. One night while I was sleeping at the edge of my parents' bed, I looked over and saw an older man sitting down just about 2 feet away from where my dad was sleeping. And this older man, he was just staring at me. There was something not right about the way he looked. And, well, I was scared to death. And still to this day, I've never been as scared as I was that night. But as I've gotten older, sometimes I think to myself that maybe it was a robber who just didn't steal anything, or a very, very vivid nightmare. But then I remember that the next morning I awoke to my brother screaming his head off. I'd never seen my brother act like that before. He too was scared to death. My brother told my parents that he saw a man in the master bathroom that leaned around the corner and looked right at him. And one thing my brother knew for sure is that this was not my dad, as my dad was still sleeping right there. And my brother ran out of the room screaming. And later on in the day, my mom tried to convince my brother that it was my dad shaving. But my brother, who was older than me, knew that whoever this was not my dad. Now still to this day, I try to make sense of what happened that night. All I know for sure is there was a man sitting down right next to my dad, just staring at me. And where this man was sitting, there's no seat there. It's just a small little walkway between the bed and the closet. And later on I realized that this happened right around the time my grandpa died. Sadly, I never met my grandpa as he lived in England. So sometimes I do wonder that maybe before he went on to his next life, or wherever the soul goes, he just wanted to stop by and scare me and my brother to death. Now one thing I've learned over the years when talking to people about the paranormal is almost everybody has had a paranormal experience. Whether that be a ghost sighting or a UFO sighting or just experiencing something that they couldn't explain. Now I'm going to go over some of my favorite pictures and videos of the paranormal. There is a lot of great footage out there, and what I want to do in this video is just go over some of my all-time favorites. And if one of these has been proven to be a hoax, please let me know in the comments. And just so you know, I don't really like any footage from paranormal investigators, as we don't know if they're being honest. So everything I'm going to show in this video is just footage and pictures that I believe could actually be genuine. And since there is just so much footage out there, I'm going to make this into a series. And over time we will learn together which ones could actually be real and which ones we need to delete from the list, as they've now been proven to be hoaxes. Now this is definitely one of my favorites. As you can see, the two young boys are just smiling looking at the camera. If there was indeed a man actually hanging upside down, you would think these two kids would probably be reacting to it. This photo was taken shortly after a fatal car accident. This one was taken by a Polaroid, and this man's brother just recently passed. And according to eyewitnesses, this ghostly image looks just like him. Now this photo seems a little bit too good to be true, but since you can clearly see through this child and they are at a graveyard, makes this a very interesting photo. This one is a pretty famous photo that was taken back in 1959. The woman who took this picture of her husband believes that she also captured her recently dead mother-in-law in the back seat. Now this one is an amazing ghost photo. It's believed to be a man named Freddie Jackson who died just a few days earlier. This image was taken shortly after two men died while on board the SS Watertown. These two men, James Courtney and Michael Meehan, had a burial at sea, and shortly after this photo was taken. While these two girls were having a nice night out, they asked someone if they could take a picture of them, and this is what they caught. Now this one is an optical illusion, but it's still shown today as a possible demon. One thing I've always wondered though, is why does this look exactly what we think a demon might look like? And also the person did die shortly after. In this video, I want to focus on people talking to what appears to be a ghost, as you can clearly see them talking to somebody, but there's just nobody there. In this video, a security guard in Argentina gets up and lets someone through the barricade at the hospital. You can see that he's talking to somebody, but there's no one there. And the security guard claimed that he was talking to an elderly woman who told him that she forgot something in her room, making many believe that this elderly woman may have been a ghost that just recently passed away in that very hospital. This one is one of my all-time favorites. In this video, you can see a security guard, Freddy, talking to somebody. And while this was happening, the security guard watching the monitor was wondering, who the heck is Freddy talking to, as there was no one there. So he texted Freddy, and Freddy replied that he was talking to his friend. But the other security guard told him that this person just recently died. And then you can see Freddy really starting to freak out. And in the video you can see that Freddy even fist pumped the air at one point. Here's another video of a security guard talking to no one. Now some believe that this one may be scripted, and that could very well be the case, but the reaction does seem to be genuine.
Who is he talking to? Dispatch to 329.
329, go ahead.
Yes, sir. Who are you talking to?
I'm talking to a elderly lady. I saw her walking by the store, and she said she's looking for Mr. Griffin. Her name is Miss Abigail.
Did you say Miss Abigail?
Yes, ma'am. She says she wants to see Mr. Griffin, and I told her that the canvas is closed, that she should come tomorrow morning, and she might see Mr. Griffin.
Are you sure you're saying Miss Abigail? Like, she's been passed on for 2 years now.
Come again with that, please?
Miss Abigail she died 2 years ago.
You mean you can't see the person I'm talking to?
No, there's nobody in front of you at all.
Here we have a security guard that claims that he saw a ghost, so he got up and threw something at it. And in the video, if you look close, it does seem that there is a little bit of mist that appears. And this security guard stated that while working at this hospital, he's experienced very strange phenomena, like footsteps walking through the halls, but there would be no one there. Here we have another clip of a security guard that claims he was talking to an older woman, but yet again, there was no one there. Now in part 2, I'll go over some more of my favorite ghost pictures, and also some of my favorite footage caught on doorbell cameras. There is a ton of great footage out there. This one I saw the other day, and at first I thought it was obviously edited, but then I learned that he shows the actual footage that Ring, the doorbell company, sent to him. And it shows someone or something walking. You can see the shoes moving, but you sure as heck can't see anybody there.
Man, what did you think when I first showed you that?
I couldn't believe it. I was like, what the hell? He blew my phone and he was like, babe, look at what I just sent you. And I was like, what the f is that?
We had just left for work. It's first thing in the morning. Y'all follow me on Instagram. Y'all seen a video already. I wanted to give a detailed video of more like, this ain't fake. I ain't edited. I ain't planning this. Like, it just happened.
Until next time, this is Paranormal Junkie. Make sure to hit that subscribe button and stay tuned.